Were we muted?
Yeah, we were muted the whole... No, actually, we weren't in the stream. Damn! They didn't get any of that.
Oh, man.
That was a wonderful introduction you did.
Happy hump day, everybody.
Well, by the fact that we were so addled, we didn't even add ourselves to the show. We just opened the window and started talking. Should be a hint of why there's no show tonight.
Well, no. There's no writer's room tonight because we didn't have somebody booked. And quite frankly, we weren't up to being serious tonight. So,
yeah, I could have talked about serious stuff, but you know what? My brain hurts.
Mine does too. I've had a full day of serious. It is not the time to be serious.
It's time to get ill. I'm from the 80s, can you tell?
You're illin'?
That hasn't been relevant for way too long.
Yeah, but it's still funny.
Jesus, I'm old. It's okay, I'll be 200 years old, I'm a gray.
Well, at least you're not wickety whack. Oh, almost a noser there.
Oh, wow. Wiki, shut up.
Exactly,
yes. And points to the people who actually know what the hell we're talking about. Now, what's a prophet pillow? I have my comfort pillows, but...
Look, a fellow prophet pillow? He might be commenting on the title card.
Oh. Okay, yeah, well, they are.
Wolf says, get down with the sickness.
Well, hey, at least that's one decade closer to this one. I mean,
well,
that's the 90s. So,
despite their rage, our little ones are just rats in a
cage.
Oh,
shut up! Now, I'm glad that's gone. I am glad. There are a lot of things I miss about the past, but that's not one of them.
I'm with you, actually.
I never got the obsession with Smashing Pumpkins. They just sound kind of whiny to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that one album where they kind of showed their Depeche Mode influence was okay, I guess, but that's not what the grunge kids were listening to.
No. Wolf says, that's my nickname for bloobs. You can steal it.
Bloobs. What's the L for?
Large ones?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, we'll find out.
I think it means large ones. Star Storyteller, do we actually have rats? Yes, we do. We have two of them.
Well, one. Oh, yeah, we have rats, but one's right above us.
Yeah.
In the bunk or in the loft I have in here.
Yes, we have Vegeta and Chaozu.
Yes. And Vegeta's more mischievous.
Yes, he is.
And Chaozu just hides.
Yes.
So the names fit.
He's the mama's boy.
So Wolf, we'll just make it ethnic. Are bloobs black boobs? I'm trying to get banned, I guess.
No, don't get another copyright strike.
Not a copy, it was a community strike. That's worse.
Sorry.
Oh, you don't know. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trick you. This is no trick.
No, what trick?
It's a trap. Let's see.
No, there are no traps here.
Actually, no, there aren't.
These are all women.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. There we go. See there. See, did I deliver? There. Yeah, I know. You're getting tired of these. I'll have to track down new pictures. Let's see.
Do you have any Bonnie Lassies, considering tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day?
Bonnie Lassies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can't go wrong with her. I mean, she isn't actually a redhead. It's a dye job, but can you really tell?
She has the coloring for
it.
Yeah,
she has the ginger coloring. That's why it works.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Gillian Anderson.
Yes.
Even though she's blonde, she has the ginger skin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, there you go. There you go. Jungle Girl there.
Wow.
Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, but with muscles.
Oh my crap.
Yeah, she's kind of got that Noi build, doesn't she?
Noi's a little more feminine, but yes.
I think she did wrestling for a while. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. She's corseted there, and now she has the Noi build.
Bonnie Lasses. You know, I've got all these Vargas pictures in here. I could do that. Anyway, so what the hell's going on?
I don't know. What the hell is going on?
No trap queens? No good.
Well, you could go
That's a
over.
meme that needs to come back because it just got such an incredible reaction from people.
What trap?
Yeah, our
That
trap's gay was like, it made people short circuit. They would flip out because they couldn't tell. They knew they were supposed to be upset for some reason. They just didn't know why.
No.
It was just like Pepe and Harambe. I mean, they were convinced Harambe must be racist somehow. Was it the milk, bacon, and
Milk bacon, okay.
okay? And it's like it's not political. It's just funny. So anyway,
It's funny because they react bad to
oh
it.
yeah,
Who is the muscle woman? Elias wanted to know.
Jessica Sestern or Sestum.
Sistrum.
Yeah, it is kind of a sad thing that Bogart and Bacall were commies,
Yeah,
but you know,
I was crushed when I
you
found
know,
out.
you know, actors aren't very smart usually.
No.
You just got to accept that they spend their lives pretending to be someone else, and a lot of them aren't deep thinkers.
No.
After a while, everything kind of is a role to them. That was kind of the problem with my sister.
Yeah.
It's just when I thought I was actually finally getting to know who the hell she was, it was like everything was a fucking role. I don't think she even knew who she was anymore.
Or the person that she thinks she is that really who she is?
I have no idea. So we need some topics.
Okay.
Give us a topic. I don't care what it is. You know, we watched the uncut director's version of Stargate.
Finally. Wow, that was
20
amazing.
minutes longer. It went from being a fun, enjoyable film to a really good film.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I encourage everybody out there who has ideas of being a filmmaker to watch both cuts of the film. And the reason why is because this film so perfectly illustrates pacing. A lot of what was cut was shaving off time from some scenes that held on, like shots of Ra's ship or shots of cities or other things like that. But
they cut out all this world building.
Yeah, and it's really needed. You needed a lot of those shots again for, as Ishii said, for world building purposes, to really get a sense of mood and tone. And with like time shaved off of some of these scenes or just shots cut all together, it gives you this rapid fire, almost not OCD, but they definitely attention deficit disorder feel to some of the scenes, where it's like you're just fast forwarding to get to the fight scenes.
Well, I always felt one of the things that I could never get past with Stargate was the first act just screams by. You know, he's giving the lecture. The next thing you know, they're walking through the Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
And that really hurt the story, in my opinion. It didn't establish a lot of things. Having a full first act.
Yeah.
And showing a little bit more about the organization that had the Stargate and what they were doing really helped. You got to know Dr. Jackson a lot better. And another thing I really like about this cut was that original, you know, in the original cut, Kurt Russell's character seems pretty damaged, but I don't know. He seems to get over it pretty quick.
Well, O'Neill's damaged, but you have he bonds with one of the young kids in this village that they go to, and he gets his soul back. Okay, you know what? That works. It's a classic, movie trope. We've seen it before, and Kurt Russell plays it beautifully. So, it worked. But
But in this cut, um, they removed some scenes and then put back other ones. I would say for the first 3 acts, you're not sure if he's the bad guy.
mm-hmm.
And so his change from being this really on edge, don't give a shit about anything, ready to die character, becoming rediscovering that, you know, his father mentor instinct and
Mm-hmm.
finding a reason to live is much more of a meaningful journey.
Well, also there's a huge part of the plot that was it's a minor, they're small scenes, but greatly inform why uh, O'Neill was sent through the gate at all. I mean, we've heard, you know, that he was sent in case they run into problems to blow it up. Okay, you know what? That worked on its own in the original cut. What you didn't see is that underneath the Stargate were remnants of the rebellion here on Earth, including 2 dead enforcers from Raw. And they saw those and went, oh shit, what type of aliens are we dealing with? And that's why O'Neill was sent.
Yeah, and he went with the knowledge he wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's far more interesting. And he doesn't just warm up to people either. Also, this dude in the foreground, the wise man who is played for laughs, he just comes off as more confused and bewildered rather than comic relief.
Well, he's the leader of his people who is scared shitless that if they sneeze the wrong way, they're all going to get executed. And it's pretty well shown that Raw is want to do that at times, you know, in both cuts. So, but in this, they really brought up more of that fear.
Yeah, and what the woman that Jackson falls in love with,
Shari.
she's an actual character in this.
Mm-hmm. She's not just love interest. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's a. I don't know if anyone can hear that. There's a dog outside.
Well, the kids are chasing a dog around in the other yard, and
Oh, is that what it is?
the little girl likes to scream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
I'm glad I can't hear that where I usually work.
You see a lot more of this thing, and it's like, why did they cut those scenes? A lot of establishing shots that were just amazing were gone. Like, you didn't know where the tents were located, for instance.
Yeah, the you know, our main character's camp, where that was located in relation to anything.
Oh, and here's something. In 2011, in HD, these costumes hold up. And they look a hell of a lot better than what we're getting today.
Well, again, I've found on eBay about 2 years ago, somebody put up for auction one of the Anubis headed ones. And I still regret that I couldn't buy it. But I got a good look at, you know, and now it's the remnants of it. It's a 20-year-old prop. But how much of it was made out of metal? And even the parts that weren't, the leather held up. It's mainly the few parts that were rubber that were rotting. But a lot of it's metal and leather.
It just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and of course they had ripped out the guts so that the animatronics weren't in there anymore.
Well, those are really expensive.
But still. Victoria, Oishi, I forgot. Were you finally able to get some female writers for your Jugs book?
Only Fiona, and then Yagi Lamplighter. And unfortunately, Lamplighter didn't have much to say on the one subject I needed to talk to her about, but she gave me material for other things, which was good.
That's good.
Yeah, I just, you know, even Sarah Hoyt, who was supposed to do an interview with, she just never did. I mean, I even contacted her a few times, and she said, "Oh, I'll do it," and
she didn't.
She has health problems, so.
Oh, poor thing.
So, you know, who the hell knows? And, you know, I'm not the best with email either, so I really can't complain. Anyone who listens to this show knows, yeah, I'm really slow on emails. I know somebody wrote me like last year, like 4 months ago, and I finally got back to him.
Yeah.
And it was just, he was saying you like the show. It was that simple.
Elias, you're trying to give me a nosebleed with those beautiful thumbnails. I didn't know Stargate had a director's cut. I own Ridley Scott's Legend, both versions, and noticed the two cuts. Actually, I grew up with a cut that's different than those two cuts. The cut I grew up with was the
Cable?
was the cable version, pirated from on TV. Big high five if you know what on TV was. But yeah, it's a different cut than those two. So, which I prefer, but maybe I'm biased because I grew up with it.
The thing is, though, the long version of Dune only exists because of on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I cannot locate. I would really like the on TV cut of Red Dawn.
Is it different?
Yes.
Oh.
It is different. There's a scene, there's a few scenes, but there's one specific scene that was pulled from the film because the censor board got queasy about it.
Okay.
And that is when the fighter pilot, Leah Thompson's character, kind of falls for him. And
oh, you told me about this. Yeah.
Then the night before he dies, she says, "Look, I'm a virgin. This is World War III. I'm going to die, and I love you." And he's like, "Look, do you really want to do this?" And she says, "Do you think your wife's alive?" And he just gets this look like Florida didn't make it,
Yeah.
And then he dies the next day. And that scene is cut. I mean, nothing's shown. It's just implied. And, the censors were like, well, that makes everyone really uncomfortable.
Why? Because she's not 18 yet?
Yeah, I think she was supposed to be 17.
So is that the only reason?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. They also really had an axe to grind with that film.
Oh, because it's against commies?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of ruined Milius for Hollywood. He made that film and he became a pariah.
Well, I did know that they kind of blacklisted him for it.
And yeah, I mean, they were friends. He was close friends with them. It never changed. But the Walter character in Big Lebowski was a parody of him.
I did know that.
By the Coen brothers.
No, I did know that.
So, let's see. Yeah, give us.
Chozo says, I watched the original Dune cut and it wasn't very good.
Oh, the long version. It's really. I wish I had a computer that could do it, and I had time, like I have any time. Jesus, I would love to go through, take the two cuts, and put together a supercut, because part of the problem is the cut that was put on cable isn't finished. It was essentially the master. It was they just took the unfinished reel, dumped it to a beta, and gave it to the on TV. Effects are missing. Some of the scenes are out of sequence.
It's grainy.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that just don't make any sense, and it's like, oh, there's parts where I think even dialogue's missing, where they've got the wrong voice.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, this could so easily be saved if you just added in the missing effects, which are so easy to do now digitally, and clip in the scenes from the theatrical cut with the effects in them that are not in the work cut.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I do know that there is the special edition, but they didn't put in the effects that are missing. They just they cleaned it up as best they could, and then they sent the film on its merry way. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. So, Fiona, did you hear what we were talking about? And I asked because I know that Stargate's one of those things that is near and dear to your heart. Did you hear that we were talking about the director's cut of Stargate? 20 minutes longer, better film all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when I first saw it, I thought it was a fun film, but 90s. It had a lot of 90s isms.
Yeah, they actually got rid of a lot of the
Yeah.
90s isms with this new cut.
This cut, the original cut, didn't have a lot of that pop culture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It focused on different things. They had different takes, and it was 20 minutes longer. So,
Wolf10, wait, what happened to my wrench? Tell me I didn't accidentally block real people while I was monitoring the chat.
I didn't take your wrench away.
What? Okay. Give us a second.
YouTube just hates me.
YouTube hates everybody.
At this point, yes, they do.
What's her name?
What?
Wojcicki. I'm convinced that she truly does hate everybody.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, your wrench just vanished for no reason.
Okay. I think you have it back now, though. Redneck. I'm sure there's a list of alerted media that irk me. Best I could think of is Muppet Christmas Carol removing When Love Is Gone while keeping The Love We Found, which is a reprisal. God, it's been forever since I've seen Muppet Christmas Carol. So what cut is this that they removed these songs? So that I can avoid that cut, because I've been wanting to add that movie to my collection.
Okay, so
Fiona, but I did love the Stargate movie as well.
Well, I think it would be worth it for you to see the other cut. If not just to see the extra 20 minutes of footage. That, and there's a ton of extras on the DVD, including a bizarre short film that they made on the last day of filming for no reason.
Yeah, that's nonsensical, but it's fun.
Yes.
And it's just, although I have to applaud them, it was like, 7-8 minutes of one continuous shot, and everything was choreographed.
Yeah. Another thing that I would mention about Stargate is I finally got the answer about the so-called plagiarism lawsuit.
Oh yeah, you looked into that.
And that had been a rumor for a long time, and the rumor had always been it would be such a different film if they had used the original script. And I got the answer on that. It's not what you think. In fact, that story was really overplayed. Now, here's the thing. In the early to mid 80s, and I'm sure this had something to do with charity to the gods and the interest in UFOs and ancient aliens, there were a lot of different shows and movies and books where the Egyptian gods are aliens, and lots of saucers, and for some reason, dimensional portals. For those of you who watched the old G.I. Joe cartoon, there was an episode where they go to the pyramids, and there's a weird portal inside that takes them to another world, and they deal with the Egyptian gods. There was a show called Strange World where a family that were tourists were at the pyramids, and they passed through some door, and they ended up coming out in another dimension. Now, there was nothing Egyptian about the other dimension, but it was because of the pyramids that they got there, and it was this weird dystopian, it was kind of a dystopian future type place with androids were replacing people. And
interesting.
But there was a lot of that stuff. It wasn't exactly an original idea. Is that Flint Lockjaw? Flint? What's up?
Dude, Flint? Really?
It's been a long time. Well, if that's Flint Lockjaw, good. I'll have some things to say.
Dude. Lucas and based
Oriental.
Name of model in thumbnail now.
Melina Velba. And Melina Velva is a lovely one.
Yes.
She is a product of Eastern European genes. And, evolution got something really right with the Eastern European.
Actually, I just realized that bra doesn't fit her because the underwire is floating.
Yeah.
I've had that happen.
And I'll spell that for you.
He says thank you.
Oh, no.
He needed it for research purposes.
Of course.
Of course. Very important research.
But Melina Velba is interesting because she's one of the few women who actually can pull this off. She is very obviously middle-aged. She is not slender by any means.
Mm-mm.
She's beautiful. And there's something about her photos that are very honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I don't know, there's just, this is a still life image here, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there really isn't anything erotic about that image. I mean, other than she's hot, but.
No, it's just her looking out a window. Fiona, I also have Stonehenge and Uplift Protocol. That will come into play more so with the King Arthur and Queen Guinevere? Queen G side novella for the omnibuses. Cool.
Now Redneck can't see Lockjaw? I swear YouTube's screwing with us.
What size is that supposed to be, though? How many H's?
Well, you know what? I'll find out.
Okay. I thought she was a J, actually.
She was another one of those people who was huge and then got pregnant and got huger. Okay, so first off, take into account she's 5'4" apparently. So that alone affects what our concept of what size is.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, there we go. Yes, this actually exists. Apparently there's a site called Boobapedia, which is the Wikipedia of boobs. I shit you not.
Okay.
And they take this very seriously.
Ah, she's a K.
She is a natural K cup. She's 5'4" and 130 pounds.
38K.
38K. And keep in mind, anything after a double D is all relative.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the next question is what country and
Polish.
No, what country is the sizing from?
Polish sizing.
Polish sizing. Okay, Polish sizing is
which
good.
is similar to Brit sizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in America sizing, she's I think an M or something stupid.
I have found that America sizing is stupid.
Yeah, just don't even bother.
No. I buy almost exclusively English and Polish.
Okay. No, I think that's the natural inclination that our evolution has given us.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since she has kind of a matriarchal vibe going anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not a dainty dewdrop with melons. I mean.
No. She the one that has the Harley?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's the one with the Harley. Okay.
So the higher up you go in the alphabet, the bigger the borders. That's from Fiona.
So the higher up you go the alphabet, the bigger the borders. I would say the higher you go up the alphabet, the more there's less and less consistency. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about cup size, I wrote a chapter for Jugs about how I learned all this stuff. And it was strictly figuring it out because you had to break down and put a hole in the closet. Yeah. Closet door. Yeah. Because I was so pissed. Well, you had that horrible experience at Frederick's. Well, at first it was Victoria's Secret. Then we went to Frederick's. And they sent you to Lane Bryant, and it's like, no, none of those fit.
I didn't even go into Lane
Oh, you were
Bryant. I
just
was
insulted.
yeah, I was insulted and pissed off, and it was like, we are leaving right now because otherwise my fist is going to go through the clerk's face.
And we're driving home, and you're looking on the web, and everything was really cheap as hell, or not quality wise, but overpriced. Horrible quality, overpriced, and you didn't even know if it was going to fit. And so I decided, I didn't tell you I was going to do this. I would solve this problem. I'd figure it out. And I
my
thought,
man is sweet.
and I thought, okay, well, this
put
is
that gray alien brain to
damn
use.
straight. I figured it would be something as simple as, okay, once you figure out the sizing and the logic, it would simply be an issue of math. No.
It's not like buying pants.
No.
And even buying men's pants is logical, buying women's is not.
No. I mean, individual companies have their own sizing scales, countries have their own sizing. The dye in the bra will change the sizing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, yeah. Well, it was
Schrodinger's bra.
It's Schrodinger's bra. It is in a state of fitting and unfitting until she puts it on.
Yes. Because you can have 3 bras that all say they are the same size, but that doesn't mean that they will all fit.
Yes. Yes, I would agree. Lorna Morgan, a gift from Wales. Like H to J to K. Yeah. Exactly.
Fiona, because that really did always confuse me. And basically, I had to guess my cup size while the female RDCs were screaming at like random Navy training trivia.
Oh my shit. God.
I'm sorry.
Really, here's the thing. My advice. Okay, it works in America. If you're under a D, American sizes are fairly standard. But don't do any of those weird subtraction or divide tricks that they tell you to do.
No.
Measure the top, measure the band, do the math, done.
Yeah. Largest point on the boob, measure your band. There you go.
And anything over a double D, look into Polish sizes or British or Polish sizes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was still talking about Stargate. Yeah, so the Stargate controversy. What's the reality?
What is the reality?
Well, there was a guy who claimed that he had come up with Stargate and they'd robbed his script blind. That's kind of true, but it's a little more complicated than that. Let me go over to.
I'd say it's not true. They may have borrowed some ideas, but they didn't rob him blind.
Yeah. Let me get the book first.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, seriously? It won't just come up?
Well, do you know his name?
Well, I guess I can't find it. Oh, wait. How the hell does Atlas Shrugged come up when I type Stargate? Screw you. Screw you, Amazon. You guys suck. It's like, you guys morons? Yes, you are. You've let your algorithms just get screwed to all hell.
The algorithms are pretty fucked.
Okay, so there was a professor of Latin who had also done some work as an Egyptologist, and he did write a script. And what they probably borrowed was all the stuff about the language primarily, because that's dead accurate, apparently.
Yeah, it is. A really good friend of my father's is an Egyptologist, and he said all of that was dead on. Specifically about the using the wrong person's translations for the hieroglyphs.
So, yeah, I think all that bit with the language probably did come from that guy's script. But on the other hand, the plot of this guy's movie was there was a secret military organization who, I forget why, was playing with time travel, and they take an out of work Egyptologist back in time to the pharaohs and end up getting in a slave revolt and dealing with the 7 plagues and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plot. Similar,
Mm.
but not worth suing. It's really kind of a hard time. I mean, they did settle, so at least they did that.
Well, fuck. Even the Bible has a slave revolt in Egypt.
Yeah.
So, you can't really, claim somebody stole that idea.
But there's another sci-fi author who predates this guy's script by a long shot, named Pauline Gedge. Now, Kat, I want you to read the description here.
Okay. In the earliest years of the history of the universe, the world maker has turned against his creations with unaccountable malice. One by one, the ruling sun lords of each solar system have fallen, succumbing to the lure of forbidden knowledge. The terrible punishment for their crime is isolation. The gates connecting their worlds to the rest of the cosmos are sealed, their innocence lost, their civilizations hopelessly corrupted. The immortal sun people are condemned to languish with their subjects in an eternity of solitude. With courageous and often desperate measures, the remaining Sun Lords now prepare themselves and their subjects for a battle unlike any they have ever imagined. The final struggle has begun. Unfolding with epic power, Stargate is conceived with a richness, subtlety, and depth that set it apart from most science fiction. And unlike Pauline Gedge's critically acclaimed historical novels, it is written with a vividness that is unforgettable.
Okay.
First published in 1982.
And this person has been very quiet, never complained. I swear they bought it from her. Because they've even used the title. She could sue if they hadn't paid her. I mean, if the other guy won his case, she would win. But the fact that she's never said a damn thing, and the fact that she's got a lot of money tells me I think she got paid. Just like it's pretty clear now that Lucas didn't write Star Wars. He had ghostwriters write it for him because he was told by Coppola and Spielberg that if he didn't write his own films, no one would take him seriously.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, I think what it was is that they wanted to be credited as the screenwriters for Stargate, so they didn't mention this woman because her story really does sound like the movie. So it sounds like her setting, and then they kind of took some things from the other guy's book and said, put it together.
Like chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah, like chocolate and peanut butter.
Exactly. But not dick cheese.
No. All right, let's see what people have to say. Yep, the Amazon search function. Yeah, every time. I know, Fiona, it's just moronic. Speaking of metal bands, I've got to say thank you to Retneck for suggesting Devin Townsend Project's Ziltor and Z2. Ziltor was good. Z2 is incredible. It is an actual rock opera, but the instrumentation and the way that it's put together seems to be directly influenced by Peter and the Wolf. It's good stuff. And it's hilarious.
Not the plot, just how the music is constructed.
Oh, the plot's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, the music's great. The plot's hilarious.
No, I was just saying the plot's not like Peter and the Wolf.
No, it's about this alien, a reptoid actually, who is finding a world for his world's dying.
Oh, can you pull up a picture of him? Because they got to see what he looks like.
Ziltoid, not Ziltor, Ziltoid. Ziltoid the omniscient.
Who is addicted to coffee.
Yes, he's addicted to coffee. I'll grab some of these. But anyway, yeah, the plot is that he's a reptoid. The planet his race is on is dying. And he's supposed to find a new world for him. And he comes to Earth, and instead of doing what he's supposed to, which is colonize, he decides, I'm going to take over. And he does this when he realizes the easiest way to take over the world is to become a rock star, have some leftist opinions, and look really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Works
immediately
for a lot of people.
Yeah. And then then it goes off in this bizarre thing where he steals a thing called a poozer, which is difficult to describe. And the war princess from another planet comes, and there's a massive battle on Earth, and there's a superhero named Captain Fabulous. I think, or is it Fantastic? I forget.
I don't know.
I'm probably getting it all wrong. I'm sure Retnick's in the chat going, "Oh no, his name's this, you asshole." Okay. Ziltoid.
There you go.
Well, that didn't transfer very well, did it?
Yeah.
How about this? Well, yeah, that's a slight improvement, isn't it? Jesus.
It's not your fault that the image is small.
Okay. Ziltoid, yes. The Omniscient.
I agree with you, Wolf. Peter and the Wolf is awesome. Have you heard the Weird Al version?
Hey, look, I know I did it wrong, okay? I think it's Greek. Blame the Greeks.
What? How to pronounce omniscient?
Yeah.
Fiona.
Or I guess that would be more Latin to blame. The Anglicization of it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Well, omniscient. I think it's Latin derived, but I guess the pronunciation is Anglican.
The fun thing about being a writer is you know all these words, but half the time you don't know how to pronounce them.
Actually, that's how you can tell somebody is a writer or at least reads a lot, is they mispronounce big words because they never hear them.
Correct.
What are you eating?
He's chewing on the boxes I gave him.
Okay. As long as it's the boxes.
That's cardboard you're hearing. Okay. What now?
Retneck, you're pronouncing it right. The opera pronounced it wrong.
Oh.
But anyway, yes, check it out. It's fun. Oh, good night, Star Storyteller.
Yeah, it's been a while. We'll get you on. We need to get you back on. We're not doing enough guests. Of course, Friday we're supposed to have Wolf. And we'll have Wolf say stuff I can't. We'll get him to talk about what is it? Everything's going to be all white, and Lord of the Kangs. What?
No, I just hear that, and I'm remembering in 2020 when we went for a walk on 4th of July, and we had the one house that was all yay BLM, and they had they had put signs all over their front yard. They had written in chalk all over the sidewalk in front of their house. Their house itself, it had all these signs on it. Their car had all these signs on it.
Oh, and you know what they drove, don't you?
A Prius.
Yes.
And all of their lights were out, like it's Halloween and they're pretending they're not home, but they had hid a boombox in the bushes.
No, they didn't.
No, it wasn't. Where was the music coming from? I thought it was like a boombox.
They had opened up all their windows and doors and shoved their speakers
in the windows
and then blasted on a fucking loop. Okay, now keep in mind, we live in a very patriotic area. People love this country.
And 4th of July was great.
They may want to nuke Washington, but they do love this country.
Yes.
And I think at this point, most people feel that way about Washington, at least. So, lots of patriotism. I mean, in this neighborhood, people were actually having professional grade fireworks shows happening in the park that they had paid for.
It was the fire department.
Oh,
the fire department was putting it on.
Even though the state said you weren't supposed to do it, or no, it was Fauci said you can't do it.
Yeah, they did it anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody was out and about and saying, fuck you, Fauci.
Everyone's in their yards talking, hanging out, barbecuing, blowing stuff up. Everyone's playing various songs. And it was Proud to be an American and the national anthem and just various patriotic songs. People are singing. And then this one house, the BLM house with the two Priuses, playing Get Up, Stand Up by Bob Marley.
Yeah.
On a loop. And they weren't outside.
No, they were not.
They were inside with their goddamn masks on.
But again, all the lights were out. It was just like, pretending you're not home during Halloween. It was so funny.
Now, I've got to ask you, though, what color do you think these people were?
What?
The BLM house. What ethnicity do you think those two were? We've seen them. They were vegans.
Yes.
They were rail thin, pale dork vegans who worked in tech.
Yes.
This was a California transplant, and I don't think he liked living there, or either of them did.
No.
I think they were really regretting it. Like, would you move to a Mormon neighborhood, you dumbass?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, they were about as Native American as Elizabeth Warren.
Yes.
That white. Yes, they are. They are an ethnicity.
Well, just like how Korean is a gender.
Yeah. You know what? I think if you're a vegan, you've given up your identity. It doesn't matter what race you were born. You're just vegan now.
Yeah, you are. That is it.
And that means you all have the same traits: sickly, pale, thin, and grumpy.
Yes, indeed.
And if at one point you had any tits as a woman, they're now like deflated and hanging out your shirt. What? You know I'm right about that.
No, I'm picturing the that crazy grandma vegan that I showed you.
Oh God, yeah. There's someone that needs to be hit by a truck.
No, her and her protege both have major problems.
Yeah, well, yeah. Her young protege goes to fast food restaurants, strips naked, dumps cow's blood on her, and starts screaming at people. It's like, look.
Well, no. She doesn't strip naked. What she does is she walks down the street wearing the bottom half of a cow costume. The top half of her is completely naked with body paint to complete the cow look. So that this way she's swinging her udders all around, and that really is the reason why she's doing it. And she goes into a fast food restaurant. She doesn't put the blood on herself. She puts the blood on the ground and starts screaming about how milk is murder. And if you put cheese on your hamburgers, not only is it murder, but it's like double murder.
Jeez. No, the thing is, I'll be honest with you. If I ever, if I knew that I could expect that walking into a, but she was at a Kentucky Fried Chicken. They didn't even serve cow.
No. But, it's horrible what happens to the chickens. And, yes, there are some chicken farms where, no, they don't take care of it. They don't treat their chickens very well. But that's not how you make your point. Being a public nuisance is not how you're going to make your point. All they're going to do is drive 2 blocks away to the next KFC to get their chicken.
I'll be honest with you. I would never eat KFC because of all the grease. It's not going to agree with my gray physiology. But I'd start going to KFC if I knew that was waiting for me.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. That makes the eating experience all the more interesting.
They do offer grilled chicken. It's just.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do.
It's just pricey.
No, it's just not that's not what they promote because they're known for their fried chicken.
Yeah, I'd go there and eat the grilled chicken if vegan chicks were there smearing blood on themselves, screaming through microphones. That might actually be entertaining. It's like I used to go to shows like that with industrial music. So,
Well, you go to shows where girls were setting their tits on fire.
Oh yeah, that was the Amazing Genocide. No, seriously, that
No,
was
I
her
know.
performance name. It was Jeaa side, Jenna side.
That's
And she
awesome.
was this. Well, the problem was the sugars weren't very impressive. She was like the stick of a woman, rail
Mhm.
thin, but very, very athletic. And she was a flame dancer, ginger.
Mhm.
So she probably liked the pain, is what I'm guessing.
Probably.
And yeah, she at the show she was wearing nothing but boots and I think was it essentially leather undies.
Mhm.
And her hair was done up in like little Princess Leia buns so that she didn't catch on fire. And then she was twirling two flame batons and setting different parts of her body on fire that she dumped fuel on.
That's pretty awesome.
And did the what is it where you spit fire?
Oh, the fire breathing.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did that as well. That was actually kind of fun.
That's cool.
No, I did not go up to the fetish room though. I'm kind of glad I didn't after hearing what was going on up there.
What did that one guy report back what his parents were doing?
No, he didn't actually, and his parents didn't tell him, and he didn't go up there either. Okay, for those who don't know, I used to work for an industrial music label called 21st Circuitry, and we had a yearly show we did called the Industrial Rave, and it was just a big event, multi-night event. A whole bunch of bands played. It was a lot of fun, and it was kind of the era of Lollapalooza, so you wanted to do kind of this multimedia kind of fair kind of environment with other things other than just the music. So you had visual artists, performers, and the record label owner was really, really into BDSM. So he'd always get fetish performers. And so he'd have those, what demonstrations going or fetish demos going on often during the show. And one year there was an entire upper floor that had fetish going on, but they had to check your ID before you went in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't bother. But the people coming out of there, the dude whose parents, now the story is one of this kid, still in high school, was interning for the company. And during the industrial rave, his parents had given him permission to go, but they said they had to chaperone. And his parents, very devout Catholics, kind of conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, look, guys, no, man, it's going to be, the weird people are going to be there. He says, oh, come on, Jason. We remember the 60s. It's no big deal. Loud music and weird people. And no, this isn't like the 60s. You're not going to like it. There's going to be people drunk. It's like, oh, well, we remember the 60s. Don't worry about it. It's not going to shock us. And the music's going to be really, really loud. They're going to beat on metal. Don't worry about it. There's going to be like fetish sex people there. You don't want to go. He says, really? And he shows them the flyer. And the two of them look at each other. Says, we'll be right back, Jason. We have to talk. And they go into the bedroom. They both come out in trench coats about 10 minutes later. Trench coats. And they say, okay, we're going. They went upstairs and didn't come back. He didn't see them the whole night. He was horrified. Utterly horrified.
That's hilarious. Of course, it's kind of like really at this age, this is your first time being horrified by your parents doing it.
I don't know.
ADMW says, I was making drum and bass music and eating chicken and waffles, so this is speaking my language.
Oh, very, very cool. Yeah, drum and bass. That for all of San Francisco's problems, they had one hell of a scene in the 90s for that.
Mm-hmm.
Knew some of them too. I knew Ed, aka UFO.
Hey.
And he actually remixed one of the bands we had on the label. There was a side project of How Job.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, it was Formatadra and How Job, Daniel Meyer and Andreas, working together, doing kind of this weird kind of beat. And it was a little bit of ambient, a little bit kind of weird beat music.
Mm-hmm.
Very spacey.
What was it called?
Newt.
Newt. Okay.
And we got Ed or UFO to remix one of their tracks, which was probably the best thing on there, but it was cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, I love Pharmatadra. So
Also, was there. I got to see Juno Reactor. I know that's trance, but still, that was cool too.
hey, Juno Reactor's good.
Yeah, they had voodoo dancers. Or he did.
Nice.
They did full on voodoo performance on stage. It was bizarre but good.
Cool.
So yeah, but with this kid Jason, to add insult to injury, one of the weirdos is, he looks in quick. He's looking in. His parents are like, "Oh man, they're in there," and a guy comes out, and we're just standing. And the guy comes up to Jason, says, "Hi, I'm Bootlicker. Hi, Bootlicker. I want to lick your boots."
Okay.
And he just Jason just looks at him, and then the guy goes down on his knees and starts licking Jason's boots.
That's not the weirdest thing he could have done. So it's just bizarre, but it's not the weirdest thing he could have done.
Okay, here.
Janelle to Wolf 10. I had a similar experience. Woke up to this was Wolf was talking about how he woke up to a friend of his fucking next to him on the couch.
I thought he was going to talk about bootlickers.
No, Wolf woke up to a friend of his fucking.
So as far as drum and bass is concerned, I got to see some good stuff. Got introduced to a lot of good music. Dom and Roland, Tech Itch, Audio. Those are the ones that still kind of stand out to me, especially Dom and Roland. Clute was another good one. Listen to that quite a bit still. Yeah, I think that's at the top of my list. There might be a few others, but those are the ones I can't believe what? Did somebody?
No, 80MW says, Ed, sick. Man, I figured making my own music since back when I was a teen. My band broke up. Sorry. My band broke up, and what the fuck? I got Fi Studio Pro now, so I'll produce my own stuff now.
Cool. Is there any place I can listen to some of this?
So you were going to look up something.
Actually, the way that we got Ed involved in doing a remix, and it's kind of a shame Don was such an asshole to him. I don't think he wanted to ever work with us again. That was kind of a common experience. But no, I was down in Lower Haight going to a coffee shop I frequented called the Horseshoe. And
the place where you get horse?
Yeah, actually it was. It was that and Speed was that place. It was kind of the height of scummy bohemian counterculture coffee shop, and there are a lot of fun stories there too. But yeah, I'm walking down the street and we're just hearing this music just blasting out of this house, and it's like, that's fucking awesome. It sounds like Panacea, but it's not Panacea. And you know how I am. So I just walked up and started shouting up there to the second floor, hey, what the fuck is that? What are you playing? Hey. And I kept doing it till he brought us in the house. We hung out, talked for a bit.
Cool. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah. So there's my story. That's another San Francisco story. Actually, I could do another whole show on stories about the Horseshoe.
Oh, Tales from the Horseshoe. It's just like Tales from the White Hart, only really fucked up.
Well, the Horseshoe was a very weird place. Once I found out that it was actually not making any money through coffee and coffee sales, it was entirely through the back room was selling heroin and speed, and people were going to the bathroom and doing it. Jesus. It answered a lot of questions. Of course, people shouldn't confuse the Upper Haight and Lower Haight. Now, when you hear Haight-Ashbury, that's the Upper Haight. And that's the one all the hippies, that's when everyone remembers.
That's the safe place. There's a gap there now.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. The Boomers, that was like their mecca, right? That and Telegraph in Berkeley. But Haight-Ashbury, right? The Boomers they're always going on, oh, those were the days. Everything's so corporate now. Except the boomers were the ones that turned it into a tourist attraction. They were the ones that demanded Starbucks and demanded all these swank boutique shops, and all the head shops there were stupidly overpriced, and just they were the ones that turned it into that. And Upper Hate sucked. Just I'm gonna lay it out there. It sucked. It was all a bunch of aging boomer hippies that were really obnoxious. And if it wasn't aging boomer hippies, it was a bunch of loser wannabe Gen Xers wishing they'd been born in the 60s, role playing that they were hippies.
Mhm.
And they all came and were like, I'm gonna hate Ashbury, dude, and sell some weed. And they all did this. So you couldn't go more than about 5 steps without some asshole going, hey, want some fresh buds? Selling buds, man.
Like you and everybody else here.
Or you would get the occasional dickwad dropout college kid who was living on the street by choice, panhandling, asking for money, and when you wouldn't give it to them, they'd always say, you fucking capitalist, you fucking greedy, I'm hungry, I can't eat. And it's like, fuck off. So yeah, that's Upper Hate. Now it's probably worse now. Although back then, and it's upscaled from what I understand, but back then there was Lower Hate. Lower Hate wasn't safe. So the hippies didn't go there and the boomers didn't go there. It was not a safe place to be. Sorry, I'm amused by myself by it. It was the kind of place where people lived there because it was cheap, or they had shops there because it was cheap. And every time someone moved out of an apartment there, and keep in mind, all the apartments are above the shops, they just throw all their trash out the window, including mattresses, because they had that thing where you had to clear out the apartment or you get charged.
Mhm.
So they just shove it out the window. So you'd be walking
Jesus.
down the street and like a mattress falls out a window.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like living in Elizabethan England,
Really?
where they empty chamber pots and shit like that just out the window.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of druggies. Had some great shops, though, I got to admit. They had really, really cool zine shop and video store there. Horseshoe was a good place to go just because of the crowd, and it was not going to have any, it wasn't going to have any yuppies or boomers there. But yeah, it was also, you might get in a fight.
What are you trying to find?
I don't know why. I'm pulling up my drum and bass playlist.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see see if we've lost everyone or if they're still entertained. Okay, so
Fiona, why yes, cycle through writer's room guests. Oh, and it's in she's gonna cycle through all our previous guests and their Amazon where you can buy their books. That's very nice of you, Fiona.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe I need to do another night where I just tell all the horseshoe stories, because it's been a while and there was a lot of odd experiences there. It's kind of interesting is there was this Japanese woman who would always go there. And okay, this is going to sound horrible. She kind of looked like Miss Swan, but prettier.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the slender build. So she was one of those women who, she's Japanese. She's mid 30s, but still looks, like she's good. She still look good, right? But she didn't know that, and she was very self-conscious. And she'd go there and she'd sit in her corner, and she'd drink her coffee, and she would get men hitting on her, and it never really kind of dawned on her that they were serious. But she was also, I think, a paranoid. Because I remember once she sparked up a conversation out of nowhere with my friend John because he wasn't interested, and she said, "I don't want to talk to you right now because I don't want to. I only want to talk to people who can understand my mental disorders."
Okay.
And then just walked away in the middle of a conversation.
Okay.
That was a little strange. And then there was the guy who was sitting in a corner. He's a rail thin college guy. He's just sitting there on this. They had all this old furniture in there because it was tossed out the window, right?
Mhm.
There was this old chair, big comfy chair, and this guy's sitting there curled into a ball. And he'd been there for like maybe an hour just looking around, holding it, the coffee, never drinking it. And he's kind of looking like he's building up to something, and he's kind of shaking and he's rocking. And keep in mind, he's been there for a while. And then out of nowhere, he just kind of looks up like he's gotten an idea. And he looks up and he's, the best guitars, Lars Ulrich's the best drummer, but the best guitars, Kirk Hammett, the Metallica, and he would do that, and the master of puppets is going, master, and then he jumps up on a coffee table and he starts like doing the air guitar, master's a puppet. And he starts like air guitaring and he's screaming and yelling. No one even notices. Everyone's just saying, yeah, this is happening. He goes, yeah. And then he just runs out with it waving.
Okay.
He wasn't acting.
So had he gotten his fix and was just waiting for it to kick in?
Yeah, I think the speed get in. And fuck it, I'll tell one more. There was another time there's a chick very much into industrial music. She had the look. She had kind of the tomboy industrial girl look going, which was a thing back then. She had the kind of the spiky buzz cut, the Bill Lee hair style, camo pants, knee-high boots, skinny puppy t-shirt, and she looked pretty good. And so I'm making time with her at the register because she was working there, and we're talking, and I don't know how it started. I think she saw something. It was my shirt or something. Oh, you like Lovecraft too? Yeah. I dig Lovecraft, man. H.P. Lovecraft stuff. I mean, I've watched his movies and I read the books, and you ever see From Beyond? Yeah, just like, hey, you should come out with me and my boyfriend sometime. He has a bunch of friends. We all go out to this beach and we light up his fire and we raise energy and hold hands, and but my boyfriend won't do it on drugs anymore because once we got too deep into it, and like he looked up and like he saw a whole bunch of fish flying out of nowhere on him.
Wow.
And he was afraid that the tentacle would grow out of his head.
Like in From Beyond?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, it's not happening.
Well, but think of the opportunity you missed to sit back and watch these people absolutely lose their shit.
Oh, that was one of the reasons to go. Yeah.
I mean, you could have even like seeded ideas of what they're saying to them.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I didn't do that, but.
Well, you were in your antisocial phase.
Well, yeah, I wasn't doing too well. I was not yet aware that I was spinning towards a horrible post-traumatic stress breakdown where I would crack, but whatever. Shit happens, right?
Indeed.
Hobos and hippies. Yeah, a lot of weird hobos. I remember once I went in and there was an old hippie there with this gigantic quartz crystal around his neck. And you know how I'll just comment on shit? Mm-hmm. He's walking by, I'm like, that's one hell of a crystal. And he takes it and he like waves it up and down like he's beaming it at me. He's, feel it? It's powerful, isn't it? And he walks.
Okay. Do you happen to remember what type of crystal it was?
Quartz.
It was just quartz?
It was just this big giant quartz. It was about the size of a baseball.
Okay.
And he's wearing it on a chain. So I mean, that's not that's kind of like holding a what is it? A big bowling ball around your.
Pretty much, yeah. Was it actually a round one or was it a
No,
point?
No, it was a point. And it was very impure. There were all these cracks in it. And,
okay. It was probably like one that he bought for like $10.
Yeah, it looked like it cost $10. So anyway.
No, I've actually learned, when I was a kid, before I got into Egyptology, I wanted to be a geologist. And so my dad got me into crystals and minerals and things like that. And then, of course, when I was in high school and I got into all the fruity new age stuff, I dove even deeper into it. So I can actually identify most minerals. I've learned not to show that off when talking to people, because I'll say something like, "Oh, is that malachite?" or "Oh, is that rose quartz?" And at least in California, 2/3 of the time, this person's not wearing it because they think it's a pretty stone. They're wearing it for its magical properties, and they will launch into a discussion with me. And so I've just learned not to say anything.
So that sounds like you on Molly, huh? Okay, let's get something clear now, because I'm about a generation off now. Is ecstasy Molly, or is that something else? From what I understand, that's just ecstasy. Am I wrong?
I know it used to be.
Another cool performance. This was just a show I went to. Was when I saw Cool Keith perform. This was during his oh God, it was Dr. Octagon phase. And at one point in the middle of the show, he says, "You know what? I'm hungry," and he pulls out this giant bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And he pulls his leg out and he starts eating. He's like, "Oh, there's a good chicken." And then he starts hurling the chicken off the stage into the audience.
Okay.
Saying, "Yeah, have some of this chicken, yeah." And then he pulls out another bucket and starts throwing.
Okay.
Whole place smelled like Kentucky Fried Chicken after. Pieces of chicken on the ground. People are dancing on it.
Wow.
Some people actually caught the chicken and ate it. Let's see. Another drum and bass performer I really dig is TB. Especially, this is going to sound kind of predictable, but especially the one where he did all the UFO themed samples, where he had all the samples of Bob Lazar in the music.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I should play that one for you.
Is he the one who also used the sounds from like Jupiter and the different planets?
I think he did that. He also did another one that was real great called Sith. And he just obviously raided the Lucasfilm sound bank, because that's all public domain.
Yeah.
And did a whole song with those sounds.
Cool.
Okay. That's it. I got to get him on. I got to get the dude who edits Sokovia or Sursova on. The Sursova dude needs some more promotion. Oh, is that the difference? Okay, yeah, that'll do it. So
yeah, something else similar, but I think is cut with meth in bad circles. Not a fan on the come down. Was geeking on a coffee shop 36 hours later.
Whoa. Yeah, Molly. Pretty sure Molly isn't quite the same as ecstasy.
Apparently, you can't get real ecstasy anymore, so most people do Molly.
Oh shit! What? Ecstasy used to be everywhere. It used to be real easy to get.
Yeah, actually, it was like stupid easy to get.
Although I will tell you, one thing I really disliked was the one time I was stupid enough to try LSD, and it was cut with a lot of meth or acid. Not acid, with speed. It was cut with a lot of speed.
Oh, is that the deal with it?
Well, everyone else was hallucinating. I wasn't.
No, you could still do math.
I was pissed off by the end there. I was pissed off at myself. So I think it was some pretty shitty acid, but yeah, I decided, my brain really isn't worth risking. Okay.
That's why I won't go anywhere near acid. It's like my brain's fucked up enough as it is. I don't need to be fucking with my wiring.
It was the 90s. Do they not make the buckets anymore?
Or he might have asked, like, where did he pull them out from the stage?
Oh, ADMW. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll put together a playlist. Back when I had the software, I used to do my own mixes.
Well, shit, you had your own music project.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Talk Shaka. But let's be honest. Jonathan did the heavy lifting.
Jonathan did do the heavy lifting, but you did make a lot of the sounds, and you were part of it. So
Fuck acid and speed sounds like shit time. Yeah, it is. I did a show and Coke flew, but it nah, I'm incredibly straight edge. Actually, that's the thing was I was straight edge like all through high school until my senior year. I said, screw it, I'll try LSD. That pretty much convinced me not to do anything anymore. And then I smoked some weed in college and was like, all this does is make me go to sleep.
12D asks if you've talked to the author Mona Lisa Foster.
Oh, I tried. She was very close to doing it, but I think she was put off by the book's title. She was the only person who was receptive, but I think she was put off by the book's title. She probably thought I was a weirdo. But yeah, isn't she a good writer? It was absolutely nothing what I was expecting. I read the preview strictly because I felt it related to what I was writing, and it's like I was taken in immediately. I was like, this really isn't a bodice ripper like everyone's claiming. This is great. As you said, it was actually Sense and Sensibility with laser guns.
Yeah.
Which is more fitting.
Or no, it's Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice, yeah, with laser guns, essentially. Or Pride and Prejudice meets Dune. That's a more apt comparison.
Yeah. Redneck, for some reason, shrooms was the biggest trio of my life. LSD was a sputter party for me, becoming absolutely enraged by Sir Hiss in Disney's Robin Hood.
I was more pissed about Disney's Robin Hood not having a third act.
It's been so long since I've seen that film. I barely even remember it. Neostar, I thought about giving Riser Man a pizza obsession, and sometimes he'd ponder what he could make into a pizza topping, but that sounds dangerously close to Simone's Law.
That sounds dangerously close to a Ninja Turtles callback, which I don't think is a good idea at this point. Okay. I lost my connections. I haven't done anything. Yeah, well, that's probably for the best. No, these days of my substance of choice has been since college coffee.
Oh, and Aloise has been incredibly kind and has created a Discord for all of us.
We need to promote this every episode, actually.
I agree, actually.
We need to start doing an official intro where we mention this, we mention what books have come out, such as supporting John Delarosa's project. Was it a teenage girl?
Teenage Girl in the Crusades.
Yeah, a Teenage Girl in the Crusades on Kickstarter, because we don't want Liam to screw his project up.
No. But thank you again, Aloise, for setting that up. I will be joining the Discord very soon. I have just been super busy. I haven't hopped on it yet, but I will be joining it soon, and that will be the Discord for all of our shows.
We might actually just have to end up broadcasting through that show event or through the Discord eventually.
We can. Actually, though, I'm learning through Yang's D&D game how to use Discord. Once you learn it, it's actually a very good system. So,
if the LSD does what it's supposed to, I could imagine that would be a great viewing. The one I remember in high school is everyone would take acid and watch Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Or The Wall.
Well, aren't you supposed to watch Wizard of Oz with
Pink Floyd?
With Pink Floyd, with Dark Side of the Moon. See, the funny thing is that when I was in art school, they played Dark Side of the Moon complete, and that was actually the first time I had ever heard the entire album. And so in my head, I was running Wizard of Oz. I'm like, you know what? This works. It actually works if you line up all the songs with all the scenes.
Okay, the weird looping synth part where it's just kind of almost a noise track. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about, yeah. But
what scene does that match up with?
I couldn't tell you at this very moment. It was one of those things where I was I was thinking about it while listening to music and drawing, so it was only a time thing. But I don't know the album well enough to be able to tell you.
Excellent. Well, I joined in on that one because the amount of rage I felt over what was happening to John, I got to support him.
But the song about money starts right when you go to the Emerald City.
Yeah.
And it's very apt considering what the Emerald City represents, or at least in the book it represents. So.
Well, we had the real Emerald City in San Diego. The Hotel Del.
Oh, yeah.
That was where he wrote a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And the Hotel Del was kind of the inspiration for what the city looked like.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The saucer full of secrets on mushrooms was interesting. Well,
I'm sorry, people. I'm starting to crash.
Yeah, I think it's time to get some dinner, don't you?
Or something. I just need to. I woke up at 7 and I've been go nonstop all day until now. So I desperately need some wind down time.
All right. So. And unfortunately, I've got more research to do. So. Doing out.
So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I believe we do have a guest next week. Who is our guest next week?
Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
I'll see. Angela R. Watts.
Okay. No, that's April 6th.
Oh.
No, our guest next week is Christopher Triana. So,
I better remind him then. Now, okay, word of warning to everyone. Christopher Triana is not going to be our typical guest. He's not Pulp Rev. Just going to give it to you a warning now. He's extreme horror.
Oh, very cool.
And he writes, when I say extreme horror, I mean the stuff that...
like Clive Barker or...
Yes. They come in the spirit of Clive Barker.
Excellent.
It was on the stuff. Extreme horror would be like the Sadist Bible,
okay,
or the Hellbound Heart.
Nice.
So yeah, it may not be for everyone. And I am going to be talking to him about a book called Body Art, which, yeah. Okay, so
join us next week with our guest. And thank you so much for joining us. And if I remember correctly, you said that Wolf will be on Friday. Yes. So also join us on Friday when our very own Wolf 10 Media will be joining us.
And we're going to have to try and coax him to say some really offensive stuff.
Oh, I know that's going to be like pulling teeth to get him to do that.
And then when YouTube complains, I can say he's black again and they'll freak out and put the show back up like last time.
That would be pretty damn funny.
For those who don't know, last time Wolf was on, we were talking, he talked about BLM. The show got pulled immediately. And I got a strike for racism until I said, he's black, right? Strike gone, went right back up immediately.
Neostar asks if you mean body horror or psychological horror. Or is the answer yes?
The answer is yes. The one I read, just to warn you, is called Body Art. And it was about, there were 3 intersecting stories. And one had to do with the supernatural, and it collides with these 2 high school kids who just graduated and their life's ahead of them. And this sleazy old porn producer and a washed up actress who have come to the decision that in the day of the internet, you really have to go to the extreme to get people to actually pay for it. And that, old stuff just isn't going to fly anymore. And so they've decided they're going to make the ultimately extreme, well, it's not even really sex, the most taboo film ever made.
Interesting.
And it does feature a part where they decide they're going to...
how are they going to top Sallow?
Well, at one point they bring in a... one of those guys who wants his limbs removed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wants it.
Yeah.
And they...
has that weird body dysphoria where you don't feel like your limbs belong to you.
And they have him do it to himself and play it like a porn with the music. And
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. So just there you go. I mean, and it then demonic possession gets involved, and
Yeah. Oh, is it Wood Rocket's production of Hellraiser?
kind of. I mean, essentially, you get the high school girl turns out to be get the kind of chick that would have an OnlyFans
Mm-hmm.
and gets in way too deep, and
Nice.
then demons show up, and it just keeps going.
Well, so that'll be fun. So join us next week.
Tweldy, I'm going to change your mind on that, but don't tune in next week because you aren't going to like this.
No.
A horror is not a genre; it is a feeling. Okay, just keep in mind. Silence of the Lambs is considered a horror. That's a good film. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Macbeth is horror.
Mm-hmm.
Horror is a mood and an emotion. It's not a genre. You can have anything can be a horror. In fact, there can be bloodless horrors that are just very disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
So there.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole article on it. Maybe I should. You know what? Actually, I did an entire episode about it on WordCraft. It's called Why Horror. Listen to it. It'll change your opinion. But no, you won't like next week. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.